So what are the real secrets to midlife health and happiness?
In this episode, we're going to reveal 5 that have totally transformed the lives of our clients, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
If you nail these, you'll truly begin to live the life you deeply desire and deserve.
Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Mentors with me, James.
And me, Claire. It's an episode today, is it?
It's an episode. Well, time is... It just seems like only yesterday we did the last one of these. Time is flying by.
I know. We do record them week by week. We don't pre-record any of them in advance. We just do them week by week. So, but it feels like yesterday that we did our last one. What have we been up to? We had our wedding anniversary.
We did have our wedding anniversary. That was amazing.
It was lovely. We're lucky
Beautiful
enough
day.
in Marbella to be able to go out for lunch. We've got a curfew where everything shuts at 6, but we were able to go out for lunch. So we do feel very blessed for that. It was very nice.
And we even got the sun to come out at the end of the day for a last gin and tonic in the sunshine.
I know, we're really moany at the moment in the last few days, to be quite honest with you. We're not expecting any sympathy, but we've had terrible weather here in Marbella. It's been really grey, really wet and windy, and apparently you've had quite nice weather back in the UK anyway.
Claire, to be fair, I think it's the thought of going home, the impending departure. We're 3 weeks away, and
We are.
I know if you have had to travel during these times, you'll know the amount of extra stuff you have to sort out now. So, going down to hospitals to arrange COVID tests that have got me in a certain time period. We've got Lola the dog, so she's got to have her vet stuff. So a lot of moving parts, but looking forward in a way to getting back, but sad to leave here, aren't we?
I know. It feels like our time here has gone really fast. So we've been in Marbella for just over 5 months now, and leaving in 3. But we've kind of started settling in. My Spanish is getting better. I'm ashamed to say. Sí, claro.
That's for Dad.
It's for Dad. My Spanish is getting better. I feel like it's actually just taken us this long to settle into Marbella because we didn't know it before. But we are looking forward to coming back to London. We've obviously got a quarantine for a while, but really looking forward to getting back to London, back to our home, wandering around Hampstead Heath and Primrose Hill and all that kind of stuff, and seeing people that we know and love.
Be lovely.
So today, we thought, what should we talk to you about today? And we thought what we'll do is talk to you about 5 midlife secrets to success, health, and happiness. So, these are some of the top things that we would say really, really pull together to make a success of the program that we run with midlifers, and actually a lot of stuff that people don't necessarily know.
Yeah, I mean, these are actually kind of the fundamentals underlining other program that we work with clients, and that we regularly run workshops on as well. So we thought, gosh, we haven't really shared those yet in a podcast. Let's share them and
We thought, golly,
get
gosh.
some useful info out there. So we're going to share our 5 midlife secrets to health and happiness.
All in one podcast. So the first one is, drumroll, build a new self-identity aligned with your goals.
This is such a biggie and what we refer to as the mindset rep. So what's quite interesting, I'll just deviate off this for a second. Most people, when they come to us, actually are looking for their physical transformation. They're like, I want to drop some body fat. I want to look in the mirror, love what I see, feel good in my body, feel fit and healthy, and totally get that. And we get amazing physical results for people. But we're also very clear that the work that's going to keep you there for the long term and actually make the physical side easier is doing what we call the internal work, the mindset reps, and it's an integral part of our program. And the reason for this is, if you've listened to our podcast before, is that you can never outperform your self-identity.
Exactly. Listen to that again. You can never outperform your self-identity. It doesn't matter what actions you take. If you aren't doing the internal stuff, then actually you'll always be pulled back. We'll use this example time and time again. It's when, we all know people that have lost weight, lost body fat, and have had amazing success, but actually they're unable to sustain that new lifestyle, because within themselves they don't feel like they are able to sustain that lifestyle. Their identity is someone that, it's not a lifestyle choice for them, that they do really struggle with their eating habits, that they don't actually have what it takes to stay motivated with exercise and things like that. So it's always being pulled back. And we always say, anything you want in life is 80% mindset, 20% doing. If you haven't got, it's so true, if you haven't got that nailed, you'll always ping back to your self-identity. So you literally cannot outperform it. No matter what you do outwardly, you can't outperform that.
It's true. So how do you go about changing it? I guess is the big question you're probably thinking now in your head. Well, what we encourage clients to do is, first of all, look at their habits and beliefs that they already have. Basically spend some time sitting there thinking, what habits do I have that are going to be helpful to helping me get towards my goal? If I regularly get up and run or walk the dog, and my aim is to get fitter, that's a great habit you've already got. If you've got a habit that, you reach for a glass of wine every night, that's perhaps not going to be so helpful for your health goals or your fitness goals. Same with beliefs, and this is where we have to be really honest with ourselves about some of our deeply held beliefs. If you believe deep down, I can be a fit and healthy person, it makes the journey so much easier. But if you don't have that belief, if it's somewhere inside, there's like, you know what, I've done so many diets, I always fail, I always put the weight back on, I just don't think I can do it. That stuff we need to work on. So what we encourage people to do is write down beliefs that they have, the ones they think would be helpful, the ones they think are unhelpful. Pick only one of each, and then start modelling what belief or habit would I need to be successful in the goal that I'm going for. And then we have a process taking people through how we can basically turbocharge that. And then obviously working with our app as well, we have all these little messages and stuff pushing in. So it kind of taps into the subconscious, which is a nice way to do it. But essentially, you have to think about your goal and the toolkit, the mental and emotional toolkit you'll need to get there, and start modelling that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the complete game changer. We always knew it would be. We've been doing this for a number of years on our retreats, actually, all the mindset stuff. But actually, when we started delivering the Midlife Method program, yes, obviously James has mentioned there, it looks at the nutrition, balanced nutrition. It looks at movement and moving your body aligned with where you're at. But actually, it is this self-identity piece that we're not even aware. We're not even aware we have it. So it's actually just being curious. It's about bringing awareness to what those belief systems have. And like James said, which ones are helpful and which ones are going to hinder your progress. But be compassionate with yourself here. We all have beliefs that aren't going to be particularly helpful to get us to where we want to be. But actually, a nice way to do it is look at your beliefs that are helpful in your life. Not necessarily with regards to your health and wellness, but you might have some amazing beliefs with regards to your career, your financial success. So it's quite nice sometimes to look at those as well and go, okay, what belief systems just generally do I have in my world that are really, really helpful? How can I apply what I know there to what I want to achieve here? And we'll say this time and time again, 90% of your thoughts are the same as the day before. So you're basically living out your past in your present every single day. So what's really, really important is just to know you need to change your thoughts. You need to change your belief systems in order to get something new. Otherwise, you would have already got there. It's that simple.
Yeah, this really is the foundation of making lasting, sustainable change. We see it time and time again. People coming to us and they're like, I did this for a while, but then I fell back. I did this for a while. Once you change that self-identity, then it all becomes so much easier, and you can sustain it for the long term. And where people fail is, we're in a quick fix, externally motivated society. So we think, I'll just do the latest fad workout, I'll just follow the latest fad diet, and sure, you will get results for a short space of time. But because you're not addressing the internal, that's why you'll keep being pulled back. So this is really, really key.
You have to be the person that you are becoming already.
Exactly.
So, number 2, apply science to your exercise. We love this. Okay, so we're not faddy. You know we're not woo-woo and fake promises. We honestly have done so much work around applying science to everything that we do. You know, the neuroscience, but also the physical science of nutrition and exercise. So applying science to your exercise is a massive part of what we teach.
It is. So where we see people going wrong with this in midlife is the weight's creeping up. Perhaps they're not doing anything, so they just think doing something and that will help. Or a lot of the time they have been doing some form of exercise, but they start thinking, I'll just double down on it. I'll just do more and more and more and more. And it generally tends to be cardio. But here's the thing. We've got a lot of hormonal and physiological changes, and smashing like 2-hour runs every other day is only working against your body. And it's also ignoring something else that's going on, namely that we are losing our muscle mass and strength, also our bone density as well, to be honest as well. So it's about working out how to get the best results for your body by working it in the right way and having the recovery time to go with it as well.
Yeah, so we could talk about this for an entire hour-long podcast, so we're not going to go into this. We will be doing workshops in the future, so do make sure that you are signed up to our newsletter, because we always go out to our email list first about the workshops we're doing, all free workshops to give you all this information in greater detail. But we really prescribe the HIIT, so high intensity interval training, to our clients. It doesn't mean to say that you always have to do that. You can do other things that you love as well. But HIIT really does give best bang for your buck. This has been proven by numerous studies and science recently as well. And when you say HIIT, people get a bit scared, but it's all balanced at your level that you are. So it's not some crazy workouts. Everything is balanced to your level that you're at right now. But the intervals and the intensity is where you can, really get the best bang for your buck in a short amount of time. We're talking 15 to 20 minutes. And the added extra magic sauce is doing it fasted. But we're not going to go into all of that right now necessarily. But fasted HIIT is one of the things we prescribe, and that is a game changer. And then
we also want to be resistance training. So coming back to that point about losing our muscle mass and our strength, the way we can delay that attrition is to actually progressively overload our muscles. So it doesn't have to be the gym, doesn't have to be weights, it can be body weight. A lot of our clients will just use things like resistance bands, kettlebells, and body weight at home. The key thing is, even Public Health England, we're recommending that all adults over 35 should resistance train at least twice a week. Obviously, that's like a full body session, so you want to hit each body part, and that's going to be long. So there are lots of different ways you can split it and do it. And so you can actually get these sessions in quite a short space of time by doing more frequent sessions through the week, but hitting selective body parts. The trick is really marrying the resistance and the HIIT to get the optimal hormonal response, which is where the science comes in. Again, this is what we dive into on our workshops. But basically we want to do the fasted HIIT, refuel really quickly, go straight into a short weight session, and then we are primed, but make sure we're having the rest days and recovery in between, so we're not overloading our central nervous system and spiking those cortisol levels too high.
Why don't we want to spike those cortisol levels, James?
Because cortisol has all kinds of negative effects if it stays high for too long. But the main one from an aesthetic perspective, of course, is making us hold on to or even lay down increased belly fat and fat around the thighs.
Well, exactly. It's, one of the things we come across all the time. Sometimes clients are not getting results. They're overloading their central nervous system, building that cortisol, holding on to belly fat, but also they're not even aware of their stress levels and raising that cortisol. So again, this is all the science around what we teach. But one of the other things I just want to say, just making sure you have that balance of cardio and resistance training. Like James said, a majority of our clients are working out at home. Of course you are. And they're getting amazing results. But what I want to say is there seems to be still, it was very, very misunderstood that people think that cardio alone is going to change their body shape. It absolutely won't. Only building lean muscle will start to change your body shape. And I can say this from my own personal perspective. In my 20s, I used to dibble and dabble with cardio, and I was like, why is my body shape not changing? It wasn't until I started doing resistance training that my body started to change. And obviously, the more lean muscle we have, the higher our metabolic rate. So again, there's a double whammy there around the science. Yeah,
love that. Also, I just like one last tip: always look for progression in your exercise. So this is the thing I used to see in gyms all the time. Like I'd say, always do what you love. There's nothing wrong with doing something that you enjoy, like a dance class or something. But time and time again, you see the same groups of people coming in twice a week for their regular dance class. You know, and after 6 months, you look at them like they haven't changed shape at all. I mean, I get it; it's fun, but if you actually want to make a difference to your body shape, you need to make sure you're progressing all the time.
Absolutely, love all of that. And number 3 is don't
Please
diet.
don't diet. Please
don't diet. Now, I've got to say, this is something on my mind right now. I've just put a post up on Facebook about this. A lady in a group that I'm in, she's a midlifer, going through the menopause. She's been to her GP, and her GP has recommended that she goes down to 800 calories a day.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm mortified. I am absolutely so mortified. I decided to put it out there and just please to convince people not to do something that extreme.
I mean, really blunt, the diet industry is based on failure. Think about it. Since the diet industry was born in kind of like, I guess, the late 40s, early 50s, like how many thousands, tens of thousands of different diet approaches have we had, right? There's
Slim fast.
Every year there's a new fad, a new way. 97% plus of dieters put on the same or more weight within, a year of finishing the diet?
Yeah.
All diets work basically the same way, which is restricting your calories. The thing is, most of them, again, because we're driven in a quick fix society, come up with faddy ways to pseudo-explain the science and get you to massively restrict the calories to such an extent that, yes, you lose the weight in the short term, but actually, you know, we're holistic beings. And our interior brain will react by shutting down our metabolism. It brings it down. If you're not getting sufficient calories every day, of course, your body thinks that there's not sufficient food available, so it slows your metabolic rate. End result, as soon as you start eating anything approaching normal again, you just put more weight back on.
Exactly, and it's about being balanced, making sure that your macros, your protein, fats and carbohydrates are balanced, that you are not restricting any of those, that you are getting enough protein in to trigger the leptin, which is your I'm4 hormone. Again, this is massive. So it's these little tricks that we teach people that we have talked about in other podcasts. You know, triggering that leptin is going to make you feel fuller for longer. Can't tell you how many clients of ours have said, oh my goodness, I'm not so hungry now, my protein is higher. Making sure that you are eating carbohydrates, but at the right time in the day, because it matters.
I was going to say, not to mention the negative emotional and psychological effects of dieting as well. You know, when you're constantly telling yourself, like, I can't have this, can't have that. You know, as soon as I say you can't eat that chocolate cake, what happens? You really want the chocolate cake.
Exactly. So a client I was speaking to this morning, you know, she was saying that she just doesn't feel, well, none of them do, but doesn't feel like this is restrictive. So actually she's just happier and more in control. It doesn't feel like she's restricting anything, that she's letting go of anything. It's so negative. And from someone, and actually James as well, someone that used to diet so much and crash my metabolic rate. As you diet, you are crashing your metabolism. And when you go back to eating sensibly and normally again, guess what? Your metabolism's going to be down here. So it won't burn off those calories as effectively and as efficiently. So you're actually doing yourself so much more harm than good. You cannot diet at midlife.
It's all about the balance. So learn your portion sizes. Get your food from natural, healthy sources.
Little tips and tricks
we can add in. You know, fill up on lean protein first. Make sure your carbohydrates are primarily leafy greens, low glycemic. Have a small amount of healthy fats. Stay away from ultra processed foods. Minimize sugar in your diet. All those things actually are quite easy to tweak and have a massive impact.
Absolutely, and make you much happier. Not on 800 calories a day, my goodness. Okay, number 4. We love this one. And this is a bit of a sideliner one. You might not think that we're going to talk about this, but a secret to happy midlife is to take risks.
Indeed it is. Listen, it's no secret, as we age, we become more and more risk averse because we start to believe we have more to lose than to gain. And what tends to happen is when we're looking at decisions or risks that we might want to take, we become fixated on the possible negative outcomes and the potential cost of those negative outcomes, disregarding the positive outcomes if the thing were to go right, and also disregarding the cost of inaction. We totally regard, like, I'm actually miserable now, stuck where I am, but I'm too scared to do anything about it.
Exactly. So we become super risk averse. And, you know, as human beings, we are wired to be risk averse, right? You think about our ancestors on the plains, you know, making sure that they have their wits about them, making sure that, because, you know, it was a scary place. However, we do not need to be so much like that, of course, in the Western world right now. But the brain is scanning to constantly show us, things to be aware of that might cause us death, basically. We're motivated as well towards pleasure and away from pain. So obviously risk it's outside your comfort zone. We always say this, you cannot be comfortable and grow. But, sorry, you...
I was going to say, by the way, we are talking about like calculator. It's not doing crazy, stupid things. Just to clarify that.
It's a good thing to motivate. But we're motivated towards pleasure and away from pain. So of course, when we look at taking any risk, calculated risk in our life, there is a degree of discomfort that's going to come along with that. So your subconscious mind is going to seek that pleasure and away from that pain. In other words, we're kind of finding it much easier to settle with a status quo. That's another thing that us human beings do. We like to stick with a status quo because we don't want to be ostracized from the community. We don't want to be ostracized from the gang. So we keep our mouths closed. We keep our heads down rather than make a change or take a chance or speak up. It's that group conformity thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, here's the thing, right? You can't be in growth and comfortable at the same time. And we always say everything is like, watch the comfort zone or beware of the comfort zone, because we can settle into this place where actually, there's a nagging feeling that something's not right or we're not happy, but yet we're comfortable, like our basic needs are fulfilled. So the thought of challenging that to grow in some way, to change, can be really, really terrifying, and particularly terrifying to our subconscious, which has the role of keeping us safe. But safe for the subconscious only means familiar. So it means you can be in a terrible situation, but because it's familiar, your subconscious will do everything to keep you there, because the threat of change to the subconscious is even more of a threat. So beware the comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So just really, the main reasons we don't take risks, we overestimate, there's lots of research on this, we overestimate the probability of something going wrong. So we've got a wonderful imagination, but we tend to use it really negatively to look at the worst case scenarios. And then we exaggerate the consequences of those scenarios, and we underestimate our ability to handle it if we take a risk and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the real thing. We discount, listen to this, guys, because this is big. We often discount the cost of staying where we are. We think that things are just going to turn out all right in the end. So we bury our little heads in the sand.
Like an ostrich.
We go, no, I'm not going to look at that. Even though there's this higher self, there's this higher part of yourself that is saying, grow, take risks. I want to expand. I want adventure. I want to play. I want to be creative in this life, because we are creative beings. But you bury your head in the sand and you use excuses not to take the risks. However, if you look back, it's probable that it's going to get worse over time. So look back at how that's worked out for you right now. Not taking those risks to do the things you really, that higher self, that higher part of yourself is saying it really wants. Having not done anything about it, how does that feel? And has it got worse over time? Did that nagging feeling get worse? That feeling of not being creative, of expansive, of enjoying your life and making the most of it? Has that got feeling worse? Well, here's a newsflash. It's going to get worse and worse and worse as you go through your life. And here's the thing. So many older people, when researched and spoken to, always say they regret not taking risks, because we really overemphasize the negative impact. We're all going to fail at certain points in our life. We are all going to fail. But actually, we see it as the biggest failure is not taking those risks.
Exactly. I mean, failure is just another form of learning. From every time you fail, you learn something new that in turn, grows your creativity and your ability to take more risks and go forward.
And do it differently each time.
So here's just some useful 3 things to ask yourself. If you're thinking about a risk or thinking about something you want to do and you're a bit frightened.
Which we hope you are.
Yeah. If I was sure that my risk would work out, if I was sure it would work out, how would I feel and behave?
Next one. In 1 year's time, what's the cost to my happiness, my health, my relationships, my bank account, my children's lives, my future, if I don't take this risk?
And just have a think. What small thing could you do within the next 48 hours that would actually boost your confidence and help you take a step towards taking an even bigger risk? So maybe like a very small risk you could take. in the next 48 hours to take you on a step forward.
And I know I am going to leave this quote up to James because it is beautiful and it's one of the most perfectly put quotes that I know he loves. So read it out, Mr. D.
Life is short. Take risks, be a gambler. What can you lose? You come with empty hands, we go with empty hands. There is nothing to lose, just a little time to be playful, to sing a beautiful song. Each moment is so precious.
And that's from Osho. And I always get emotional, actually, even just reading that, because we all need a reminder. Actually, you know, I should probably read that a little bit more myself. It's so, we really, really do make such a big thing of this life. We really do make it's a beautiful gift, and we really, really stop being playful. You know, as we age and get to midlife, you know, when we're younger, we play to win. When we reach midlife, a lot of us are playing not to lose, the things that we've built around ourselves that we think define us. And actually, it just holds us in this barrier and it keeps us so incredibly stuck. What I would say is, let's try not to make such a big deal and overemphasize the bad, negative things that might happen, and just go for it, because you're going to learn along the way. You're going to learn about yourself and enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
So the last one is get some support.
Yes, listen, we all need accountability in our lives. You know, we can be accountable to ourselves.
So
but
hard.
It's tricky. So, you know, we'd always recommend when, you know, get an accountability buddy of some sort. Join groups where you can have accountability, a bit like our Midlife Mentors community, our free group. Or, you know, even better, work with someone that is not only going to give you the accountability, but, you know, support and guide you, like a coach or mentor. You know, we work with coaches and mentors ourselves, and it's, you know, it's a vital part of our development and our growth.
I know, and it's you know, here's the thing: there's so much information out there, so much misinformation out there, that actually, what we would say, and we do this with our coaches, we make sure that we've looked at them and can see that they've got a proven strategy with the people that they work with, and they've had success with the people they've worked with. You know, you're not expected to have a roadmap for yourself that you know that works, but what you want to do is find people that do have that have a proven roadmap and can guide you step by step along the way. You don't need to see the whole ladder, the whole mountain. You just need someone that's shining a guiding light and saying, this way is proven, this way has been done by us and by other people before. And you know, it's a lighthouse. That's why we have a coach. They're a lighthouse. When you don't believe in yourself and you're lacking motivation and you want to stop, they're the people that give you a kick up the bum and say, it's okay, we all get moments like this is what you need to do. And just being able to express that with someone is a beautiful thing. You know, every single person we work with, we're so honoured, because the relationship we build with them is unique and special every single time, and it's unique to them. But what's not unique is we all need that. We all need that accountability and support from people that know what it's like to have been in your position. And that's really important, really, really important. So they are our 5 secrets.
I hope you enjoyed those, and I know, like, we whizzed through them. If you want to know more, then do make sure you're signed up to our mailing list and keep an eye on our community, because we do run these workshops fairly regularly where we drill into this in more detail, and obviously when you've got visual aids as well, it can be really helpful. So hope you enjoyed it.
You can join our newsletter by either going to the midlifementors.com website. So on there you'll see on our website, so www.themidlifementors.com, and you can see a way to just join our newsletter there, and then you'll just get information about everything we're running, from even, by the way, got to tell you this, 2021 in-person retreats. I cannot express how excited we are. James and I have really, really missed running our in-person retreats. The last one we ran was a year ago now. And we're really, really looking forward to releasing those dates. We've actually got a priority list for those dates. We're really, really excited to launch those, to run them, because, you know, it's basically what we've done for, years and years, since 2012, and we've really missed them. So again, by you being on the mailing list, you'll get the news about those dates ASAP.
Yeah, we can't wait. We've got some exciting plans there.
We have.
Don't want to say too much at the moment, but sign up to the list and you'll be the first to find out.
You will be first to know. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We hope you enjoyed this, and we are sending you an enormous amount of love until next week.
Until next week.
Take care.
Bye. You've been listening to the Midlife Mentors with Claire and James Davis.
We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line at info@themidlifementors.com with any questions or topic suggestions.
And make sure you join us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can find us under the Midlife Mentors.
Yeah.